Lines are crazy, and you're stuck fighting for the last case of water. Don't be that person. Build your emergency kit now. We're talking 7 days of non-perishable food and water for everyone in your house. Think a gallon of water per person per day. Don't forget your medications, important documents, flashlights, and batteries. Head to floridamakeaplan.com for a checklist. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Division of Emergency Management and the Florida Association of Broadcasters.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV begins right freaking now. Hello, boys.
You seemed a little...
I'm still frantic. You guys are going to talk amongst each other while I get some things fixed over here.
You got some problems over there?
Got a couple problems, but not enough to keep us off the air.
Well, Corey and I can catch up.
Yeah.
I missed you last week, Corey.
Yeah, man, I missed you.
No, I'm here. I'm still here, guys.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit here. I'll get us going.
Okay.
Then you guys can talk amongst each other.
Okay.
Maybe you'll solve the coaching crisis.
Yes.
What crisis?
What crisis are you talking about?
Yay, sausage. Let's get started.
I actually, I've got this pack of jalapeno cheddar. I think I may have had it a week or so ago.
I'm looking
and
for
it's
that
just
to be delivered to mine.
It's mine.
Okay.
I'm not sharing.
Mm.
And got some hot dog buns. And man, I'm waiting for the right. It's kind of like a fine wine, guys.
Okay.
It's like you're waiting for the perfect occasion.
Thanksgiving.
You think so?
Yeah, wait till Thanksgiving.
That's
how the Pilgrims intended it.
By the way, if you're in Tallahassee, if you're in this area, Publix's have a sale right now on your register sausage.
Wouldn't that be because the Publix by my new house out in Southwood, because I roll the country club lifestyle now, you know that. They barely got any selection at all. Stephanie is very, very upset with the amount of registers that are there. So I'm voicing it now publicly.
Okay. Well,
to Ben and to anybody that can make a difference out there.
I mean, you can make the difference.
You're
We've
right.
been telling people.
Yeah, you're right.
You go talk to the meat manager.
I need to heed your advice.
Yeah, and Stephanie can talk to the meat manager.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys can. If you're in this part of the country, if you're in Florida, Georgia, up to the Carolinas, over to Alabama, I know the geography. Maybe in the Mississippi.
Right.
If you don't have registered sausage in your grocery store, go ask them. Ask the meat manager. Tell them you want registered sausage.
Damn it.
You don't want these other imposters.
No.
You want the premium pork sausage that comes from registers, all the different varieties, and have them get it carried there. Ben and his staff will get it there. Or if you're outside of this part of the country, go to registermeats.com and they'll have it delivered. And maybe
that's what we're going to have to start doing.
Maybe we'll get a promo code this week, guys. Any chance of a promo code again?
Well, you mean like because of a victory?
Yeah.
I doubt.
He might just give it away free.
By the way,
if they ever win a game.
So not that this is a gambling show. I haven't understood the line all week. It started out, at least on the app that I might use, at 7.5. Florida State is a favorite.
Yeah.
Now Florida State is a 9.5 point favorite.
Where does that come from?
What is going on, guys? You guys know more about gambling than I do. Why would that be?
I did not look this morning to see if Wake has.
Did they decide not to play?
Injuries. Because I honestly.
Are there rumors that Wake might not make the trip?
Well, let me ask you: did either one of you watch any of the Wake SMU game?
No.
So I did, and I'll tell you this: 13-12 is deceiving. Wake kind of dominated the game against SMU.
They had 5 turnovers.
They turned over 5 times, 3 of them inside the 10.
Oh, man.
They should have blown SMU out. They were the much better team.
But I mean, if you think about it, FSU would probably beat SMU by 40. So
that's true. Yeah.
So when I look at that game, I'm like, man, Wake's kind of good. Just flat out.
Defensively.
Defensively, they're pretty good. I don't see signs of FSU being prolific really on either side of the ball.
Right.
I don't know where the headspace is at, Ira, but evidence seems to suggest it's not in a good place.
What is Vegas doing?
What are we doing?
The numbers
what's happening?
The numbers determined by the bettors usually.
Why are the bettors betting on Florida State?
Because
I was telling Aslan, I know Florida State is more of a public team where fans will bet. Not this team and not this current fan base. I would think all Florida State fans would be funneling money at the Wake Forest line.
Well, it doesn't have to be FSU fans. FSU's a public school, public team, so
like,
anybody. You see FSU, Wake Forest.
No way Florida State loses 10 straight ACC games. I think that's the way of thinking. And they're due for a good game. They're due for a good game.
That's what people are betting for. That's what you do with streaks, is you bet against streaks.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, you're not supposed to bet against streaks.
No, I was stunned when I saw the number, and that it keeps going up. I don't know why that's happening. I don't. There's no evidence that Florida State's going to go out and play well that I can see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they go out and play great.
Yeah, and that's where, a lot of people the topic has been asked a lot in our various shows, or just talking to people around the, Tallahassee about Florida State. A lot of people will say, well, is there any chance he survives? Like, is that what Florida State's doing? Are they just hoping he wins enough to survive? And I don't know that there's an answer. I don't know that there is a way, but in terms of Mike Norvell coming back next season, the only scenario would be maybe if you won out or went 4-1 the rest of the way. But that seems so outlandish to even think about.
It does indeed.
There's just nothing indicating that may be possible unless, again, maybe people know something we don't know.
Yeah, man. Maybe they got healthy. They use this bye week.
What was the vibe in the interviews today? I didn't make it over there. Had Patrick Surtain, KJ Kirkland, Richie Leonard. Those guys talked. I
like KJ and Richie a lot. KJ especially, just cool dude. Richie is too, but I don't feel like Richie wanted to be doing it. But Richie's a good person, and he knows the community service.
It's a tough sell.
Yeah,
for sports information. Hey, you want to come
talk and answer questions about how bad y'all are, and if your coach is going to be fired. But no, it was, they did say that they thought that the rest would help. And I asked Patrick Surtain, because he was on some bad Dolphins teams. He was on some Dolphins teams.
Well, if you were on a Dolphins team in the last 20 years,
they're usually pretty bad.
There's a chance they suck.
So by November, he was usually, when he was on those teams, they were playing for nothing but pride. Like, they weren't going to the playoffs. Their team going. And I asked him, what's that like at the college level? He's like, well, in the NFL, it's different because you've got a family. So you're playing for your family to keep your job, to keep supporting them. College is a little bit like that, but he's like, it really is about putting good things on film. You never want to put bad things on film, and you do have pride in what you're doing, and it has to be, from within. And he did say he thinks they're practicing hard, they're practicing physical. He hadn't seen really but would he tell us if he had?
Well, I was going to say, does it seem sincere?
I don't know. I can't read them. I'm not a psychologist
or any of these guys. I mean, I just thought, the Mike Norvell interview yesterday was tough. I mean, just because I don't know, he's trying to be as positive as he can be. But he's also, what can he say? I mean, this is what it is. We have to keep doing the interviews.
Yeah.
It's a brutal set of circumstances, by the way. I feel sorry for him. And I mean that. Right. People are like, whoa, don't feel sorry for him. He's going to fall into money and all that other stuff. I'm like, no. It's still untenable. He still has to go through the motions, and everybody knows exactly what this is. He's done dealing, and he has to, with a straight face, try to talk
What's
about
crazy is
any of these games.
If and when they lose to Wake on Saturday night, and that's an if.
That is an if.
I mean, they're a huge favorite, apparently. It'd be a huge upset. It'll be on the bottom line scroll. Wake Forest shocks Florida State.
Maybe somebody with a lot of money just wants to see them lose 3 straight times as double-digit favorites.
Going for records or something. But what do you ask them after that game? What do you ask him after the next loss? You can get into the why of the loss, and you can say, do you think you'll be the head coach? You could ask him that one question, but after that, it's like, well, what are we doing with this?
Tell me about that 4th and 2 call.
Yeah. When you didn't get it, when you didn't get that 4th down.
Coach, did you ever think you'd be at the helm for 10 straight ACC losses? What does it mean to you?
Somebody on Wake Up, for when we asked for questions on the mailbag, one of their suggestions was, you should ask Norvell, if he was the athletic director, would he fire himself after? And it's like,
I mean,
what are we starting to start a fight?
Imagine
our job is to shame him.
It's brutal. But I also felt bad for him when it looked like he was about to cry after the Stanford game and the subsequent availability. I thought he got a little.
He cares.
Oh, there's never been any question that he cares. I'm just saying that this is a horrible situation to be put in, and obviously he's failed at the job, and they're going to have to move on. But
what do you guys think? Do you think it makes Florida State look smarter or dumber, or whatever words you want to use there, adjectives you want to use there, that LSU did what they did? I will say this, and I heard you guys on Wake Up talking about this. I caught a lot of your guys' show yesterday. I don't know if you guys talked about this or not, but I do. There was the instant reaction from a lot of people on social media
and on our message boards at warchant.com was that, well, LSU's serious. They're firing Brian
they're a
Kelly.
serious program.
Florida State's not serious. It's like, come on, man. They're just they just spent $500 million on a new football facility and a stadium. They're Florida State is as serious as you could possibly be. Now they're going about it a different way. They've got a different approach. They think I believe they're working behind the scenes on their next step. But don't act like Florida State's not serious. Like they're cool with this.
Yeah. They don't care about winning. They don't care about winning. I've never seen Jeff.
ACC.
What do you think Jeff's doing over there?
He's working on important stuff.
He's got the headset down, talking on the phone. Do you think people can hear us right now?
I think they can hear us. He's got important stuff.
Okay.
Let's focus on the show.
Sorry, Ira.
Yeah, I mean, like you just sued the ACC because you want to get positioned to be in a better conference because you want a bigger payout.
Yeah, but you don't care about you don't take it as seriously as LSU.
Your budget is as big as, I mean, you've got probably the biggest or second biggest budget in the ACC. If you were in the SEC, Florida State's budget would be in the middle of the conference without the resources that those schools have. Florida State is serious, man. It's just they're choosing to go about it a different way.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're good. They're cool with 9 straight ACC losses. It does not mean that Mike Norvell is here for 2026. And I also don't think it puts you behind some imaginary race for the next head coach. You're all in the same pool fishing, but for the most part, you're fishing from the same pond when it comes to your next head coach. They're all still out there. All those names are out there, whether your job is open now or your job is open in 5 weeks. It's not like Florida State the Saturday night after they presumably lose to Florida. They're going to be like, you know what? We might need to make a head coaching change. Who's out there that we can go get? They have given themselves a long runway to figure this out while they still have somebody in control. And I get both sides of because it is untenable with him right now, and it's not great for him.
By the way,
I don't think it puts them behind the race to get a new head coach because everybody pretty much knows they're in the market for a new head coach.
By the way, you're giving me PJ Fleck vibes over there with the colors.
And the kind of little the little bit of the hysteria a little bit that was over there. You were really getting after it. You were sawing wood or whatever they're saying is
rowing the boat.
And then now his chairs.
It's this whole thing.
What's happening over there?
I'm gonna throw something in about 2 seconds. This is ridiculous. I got it. I got everything worked out. I got everything fixed.
Right.
We were on the verge. The Titanic was about to hit the iceberg, boys, and I successfully navigated us around it.
Nice.
We're good.
Good job.
We're all good. But while you guys were talking about, Norvell, shouldn't be fired, when is it going to happen? Well, you both agree he should be fired, but it's just a matter of when, whatever. Yeah, I was like, okay, I've heard that. I know what I got to get this right.
If the captain had steered around the iceberg, nobody would even know about the Titanic wouldn't be famous at all.
I know. It'd be another ship. Yep.
It would just be a nondescript.
And now look, 2,000 people might not have died. Well, they were going to die eventually. They were going to die eventually in something.
What are you going to do?
But we've got a cult phenomenon in Titanic.
Let me ask though. I would have fired him when he walked off the field.
But we were asking about the LSU going quick, doing it quicker.
Does it make Florida State look bad?
Yeah, and is Florida State losing ground in any sort of coaching search because they have not fired Norvell yet?
I don't believe so. I also don't think that they need to be fishing in those waters, not because they're a lesser tier program. I don't want to pay anybody ever again $12, $13, $14 million.
Brian Kelly? Would you pay Brian Kelly to be the next head coach?
No.
What in the market rate?
No. Because he would take a substantial discount to come here.
Please, God, don't make that happen. Corey, we have to cover this team. I'm not talking to that ass face. He's the worst. No.
But he would
stop it.
He wins games.
No, stop it.
He wins games.
Well, just go to Franklin. Go to Franklin then. I'm fine with that.
Franklin what? Oh, James Franklin.
Yeah.
The guy you've been pushing for 3 weeks.
Franklin County.
No, go to Franklin, Tennessee, buddy. Get out of here.
Go now.
No. I'm saying go to Franklin then. I'd rather have him.
Yeah, agreed.
But no, man. No, I don't think you need to do that. You're just going to get bent over a barrel yet again by the same damn agent who's bent everybody else over. I'm not doing that. So I'm not worried about whether or not we miss out on Lane Kiffin. I don't want Lane Kiffin. But I think I would have fired him immediately because of how untenable this has to be every day over there in those offices. And also, you're already going to fire him. You're not saving any money or whatever it is. And if he keeps losing, the mitigating factors are gone too. He's not going to get a job. Where's he going? He's going to be a receivers coach at Oklahoma State for $50.
Maybe they're waiting to give him his Napier moment and fire him after a win.
I would have already done it, but they didn't do it. So here's what I'm going to presume. And I get asked this all the time. I'm going to assume that there are machinations behind the scene that maybe I'm unaware of that gives them pause to fire him when, in my mind, they should have immediately. Now, I would have fired him after 2-10. I've been on the record with that many times over.
Yeah, there's a little revisionist history to that, though, because the buyout was the buyout. You were not saying they should pay $60 million last year.
What I was saying is that in any normal set of circumstances, he would be fired immediately.
For sure.
I also thought that if we had the money, I would fire him right then and there. I would fire him.
The hope was you could save some of that money by investing a little bit to protect him.
I get the plan.
The flip side is now that failed, it's ended up being more expensive than it would have been because now you're on the hook for all these other guys.
Yeah, I didn't like the route they went offensively, but that's another thing. Anyhow, this whole thing sucks. And, it makes you completely indifferent about a football game that's going to be played on homecoming Saturday at Doak Campbell Stadium. Like, I couldn't care less about the result of that game. Other than maybe if he loses another one, then they go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and we start the process of just talking about whatever coaches they're going to vet.
Hey, let me ask you this, though. So we're in this world. We live Florida State football. It's what we do for our careers. Yeah. You guys were passionate fans before this.
Yes.
It is, I would say, in a 24-hour day, if you're awake for 17 hours,
I'm awake for 20 hours, by the way.
20? That's right.
Yeah, I'm always awake. Just doing push-ups and sit-ups.
That's what you're doing all the time.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You the Charlie Sheen diet. What was the blood or whatever
Tiger's blood.
Tiger's blood.
Yeah.
But
also known as cocaine.
Right.
Yeah.
You say potato.
Yeah.
But it consumes our lives. It's what we do. Of the people in the stadium, of the people in the stadium, 70,000 people that are going to be there on Saturday, I would bet 60,000 of them don't live like us. They're not on Twitter.
Not. Yeah.
They're not on the message boards. They're not. So I don't know that the venom that people are worried about is yes. If you took the collective FSU Twitter sphere and all the message boards and all the sites and brought them into the stadium.
Anybody that cares deeply about the program?
Well, other people care, but they're just not their life.
But I feel like
I just don't know that I think the people that are going to be there are going to be supporting Florida State.
If you contextualize it, though, there are a lot of people that weren't really happy with Florida State before the season started because of the season tickets and everything that's happened with them and in their seats. And we had them for 40 years, and then we were told we had to pay $10,000. We had to move, and we're in a lottery. They're already not all that happy. They've already had to up their price to just come watch this team. So even if it's not like they don't live and die with Florida State, it's bad. It's not good money spent. So when you spend that kind of money and you watch a team maybe lose its 5th straight game and 10th straight overall ACC game, even if you're not that diehard, you're going to be looking at yourself like, we just spent $12,000 for this. What are we doing? And this guy gets $50 million to not coach.
Yeah. If it goes poorly, I could see that.
But it's not going to go poorly.
No, I'm saying if Florida State's losing and they lose a 5th straight game, I could see some of that. My point was you're saying that you going to this game with no interest at all. You don't care at all. I think there's a lot of fans that don't live and die with it that are going to go in.
Yeah, they want them to win. They're going to cheer.
Football game.
Yeah. I want them to win every game they play.
Oh,
it's not a matter of want. I'm just I'm
just saying. I think there's a different perspective that we live in.
Yeah.
and a lot of the.
I don't disagree with that, and I'm not worried about the vitriol. I know I've heard people say, "Well, I'm worried the way that it's going to sound." I don't care if they boo his ass for 60 minutes straight. That's fine with me. If they don't boo at all, that's fine with me.
Wouldn't that be something if they just booed for 3 straight hours? Yeah, just nonstop like the cowbells.
There you go, guys. That's what you do. You just boo for 60 straight minutes. It is well known, and then you get action.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. He's a big boy. He can handle it. It's like as long as nobody assaults anybody, I really don't care if they're mean. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't even care that it might look bad that people are like, boy, did you see what was going on in Tallahassee? No different than what was going on in Gainesville after the Mississippi State game or during the Mississippi State game. Baton Rouge the other night. Any place that a coach is on the cusp of getting fired, it's ugly. It's always ugly. I don't care about that. I don't care about being admonished by the talking heads who pretend to be greater than thou. Don't care about any of that. He should be fired. Should have already been fired. Should not have. Anyhow, that Stanford game is pathetic. That is the most embarrassing. That effort, the stuff on the sidelines, the Edwin Joseph stuff, they have tuned him out. They do not care. I don't know. This is where the only thing we might disagree on. I wouldn't have him around because I don't think the players are listening to him in any way, shape, or form. The evidence I see is that they don't care for Mike Norvell anymore. They've tuned him out. I don't even think they like him. But my point is, if you think that you could navigate the rest of the season and have better results with just having an interim coach, then I would do it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think they'd still lose and it wouldn't matter.
I'm curious about that. We talked about that a little bit last night on the Smash. I don't know that there's an answer on the staff for that role.
That's fair. That's a fair counter. I mean, they have a former head coach as OC.
Yeah, but I mean, again, he has made it very clear he does not really care about the other side of the ball.
I'm just the OC.
So
I'm just here to call plays,
I'm
everyone.
not so sure he cares to be here either, by the way.
So I don't know that people are going to rally around him. And Tony White's got his own issues. I don't know that he could be an interim head coach right now with that side of the ball.
I'd give it to him.
I guess, man, but that side of the ball is a disaster.
You can't go to Odell again because that's embarrassing. You can't have the same interim coach 3 different times.
Rick Stockstill's my choice. Go to Rick Stockstill. Right. He's on the staff. He's been a head coach for a long time. But at least there would be maybe if there's no – because the thing with Norvell, I don't think the guys don't like him. I do think they don't respond to him.
And they don't seem to respect him by the way they play.
Well, no, that's fair, valid. There's no buy-in to the program right now. No. It's your point about the Stanford game, why it was so gross, other than the fact that it is Stanford. They've got dancing trees. The whole thing is a clown show.
It was a backup quarterback.
No offense, Stanford. You've got a lot of things going for you.
Yeah.
The football program is not one of them.
Yeah.
They're really good at like rowing and equestrian stuff.
Yeah,
they're
water polo.
Possibly
I'm told academically it's a sound institution.
I heard that too.
Overrated.
Heard that too. Beautiful campus, by the way. Spent a lot of time walking around. It's a nice trip other than the football game. But the fact that the way they played, the 13 penalties, the nonsense, everything.
There was many penalties as points.
Yeah,
against Stanford.
Yeah, there was nothing redeeming about that game, and a bye week I don't think is going to fix it.
But there is at least a hope, right? Like maybe that's like, let's see what it looks like with 2 weeks off, and legitimately no excuse. You don't have to go play at 1 a.m. your time. Again in the East. I know that's not an excuse. You don't have to go play Pittsburgh without any receivers healthy in the second half. You don't have to go play a good Virginia team on the road on a Friday night or a really good Miami. This is Wake Forest, imminently beatable at home with 2 weeks off. If you come out and lay another egg, I don't know how. I don't know. I just don't know how to keep going.
Point, I would say this. At that point, the firing wouldn't be punitive. It wouldn't be out of anger the way it would have been after Stanford. It would be out of fairness to the players. This is ridiculous.
And Norvell would get a week in the new football facility. So he helped bring that to fruition. So let him enjoy a week.
To Ira's point, though, I think that's already happened, in my opinion.
You think he's already gotten a week in the football facility?
No. The in fairness to the players thing, I'm with you. I think that just happened with Stanford. Get the hell up out of here. You can't be prepared to play Stanford. Get out. Right. Get out. Go. Don't need you around.
It's a one-possession game, and I think he was in. I'll be honest. I think he was in on that last play, gang.
Oh, well played. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Picture this. It's midnight, and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the Add to Cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. But you remember that your wallet or credit card is in the living room, and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Seminole Headlines to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about all the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/warchant. Go to shopify.com/warchant. Shopify.com/warchant.
Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness, and now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch a Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge.
Get a Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those dark leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark.construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, he can put them to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable. Is what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headline, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
One good thing is that as we watch this game play out, it'll be lovely weather.
It will be.
It's going to be nice.
It'll be a little chilly, I think.
Yeah. I like that.
I know.
Yeah, I prefer that. And if we're going to watch a resounding loss, Wake has a way of stamping the end.
They do.
Don't they?
It's kind of been a thing.
Stamped the end over the years for Florida State. So it'll be like old times. We'll
yeah,
because
or a fresh start, even though rebirth.
Yeah, because even though Willie was fired after Miami,
it was
that Wake game may have been the end of it.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. So there you go. You
tried it out
once again.
Maybe
that's what the administration's doing. They're like, hey, you know what? There's greater symmetry if we do it after the Wake game, guys. You guys know Florida State history.
That'll be an easy column for Corey to write.
It's a good talking point, good writing point. Yeah.
There you go. I gave you the cue.
Why do you think he's lost the team again 2 years in a row? Do you think it's? I mean, I do think the complaint some people have had about I know it's been a talking point about whether or not the response and whether or not they respond.
Same note, Ira.
That I do think that's it.
He plays the same note all the time.
One of the things that Jimbo did that I thought was smart early on was he had that mental conditioning coach, Trevor Moad.
Yes, he
may
did.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And I think Trevor was the one that kind of would give him different ways to say the same thing, like different ways to reach the players, things to messaging to the fans, and it would work to some degree. And then eventually it didn't work, or maybe Jimbo just stopped listening to him. But I do think that's one thing. If you're looking, as I sit here and I think to some of the missteps for Mike Norvell, I do think one of them was not getting some counseling on changing it up after these last 2 years, figuring out a different message, because clearly what you've been working with, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I brought that up a while back. I said, I don't know the specifics of why they tune him out, why he's lost the team yet again, but I know that what I observe is a guy who plays the same note on a grand piano over and over and over again. And there are lots of ways to get to message and to get across your point to different people, and you play different songs and different notes. Like some people, as they say, need a kick in the ass, others need an arm around the shoulder. I just feel like he does the same thing over and over and over again. And that's not the reason for a total downfall, but I think certainly it aids it.
Can I bring up something here? I knew you were going to say something. Cody Johnson brings up something in the chat. He says, Greedy Vance literally said, this was on Twitter the other day, Greedy Vance literally said why he lost the team. He kept bringing in guys, paying them more, and giving them playing time over guys who had already been here. The portal saved him and then killed him. That's well written, Cody. I wanted to comment on that. I didn't respond to Greedy's tweet. I think there's some validity to what he's saying. But Greedy's kind of a unique situation. And Greedy
did play, right?
He played. He came in and played well.
Yeah.
I think he wanted, when the NIL money is going, and then Florida State went out and got some of those guys they got for the 2024 season.
Yeah.
I think Greedy Vance said, well, why are you giving those guys that money? And then he ended up leaving and going to Southern Cal, right? Is that where he went?
Maybe, yeah. I guess that sounds right.
And I think the circumstances there where Greedy felt like, yeah, they're valuing these other guys. And I do think that is a mistake that they've made where they have valued guys. Because we saw the other one, probably the most, not the biggest example, but a big example was when they brought Gilbert Emmett in. And then who was the defensive end that went to Colorado?
Derek McClendon.
McClendon.
Yeah.
That was a similar situation where McClendon got mad because you brought in Gilbert Emmett. They were trying to make the team better. They offered Gilbert Emmett probably more money than McClendon.
And he's the same player.
And very similar player. So then McClendon leaves. So there's a lot of that I think is inherent in this world now. Yeah. And I think they've made some of those mistakes. I think it's a valid criticism. But I also think, Greedy's in a special situation. I don't know that Greedy was I don't know, like how much loyalty Greedy left Louisville to come to Florida State. Sure. It's not like he's a guy that was homegrown play. That whole thing's an interesting dynamic with the portal.
People have, obviously he was the first to really, or one of the very first to attack the portal as aggressively as he did, because he knew that no matter the circumstances, fans wanted wins and they wanted them immediately. And so he thought this was the best way to go about it, this newfangled way of building a roster. It worked, and he deserved credit for it. He failed to recognize the changes that were taking place in the portal and how it was being affected by others jumping in and understanding that it was a role they could use. There was a role for them to play in this as well. And then also, I think there is something to the fact we've asked this question openly. If you've got a guy who committed to you, he's worked his ass off, and he's now a junior. He's about to go into his junior season, and he's blood, sweat, and tears. And you portal over him for a player that's very similar, maybe slightly better, and then talk about, it's about us. It's about come on, man.
Well, and that's why you don't have any of these offensive linemen anymore. All the offensive linemen left because they would get portaled over.
The second you start down that road, it's about us. It's about response. No, it's not. It's about you screwing me over.
The best point there is that are barely better than you. Like, I don't think Byron Turner could look at himself and be upset that Jared Verse was playing over him. It's Jared Verse, or KJ Sampson with Braden Fisk. You get that. It's the guys that are just.
Well, you let him go to bring in the Diamante Diggs.
Right. Yeah. It's like, but I just think, man, when we talk about he lost the team, his message is stale. It's a brand new roster every 2 years now. The real reason Mike Norvell has failed at Florida State is the roster. It's just not good enough.
He doesn't recruit well.
Right. So overall, that is the biggest complaint because I don't know that everybody did Bobby Bowden have the team in the 90s, or were they just awesome? Did everybody love Bobby Bowden and the way he coached, or was it just the fact that they were awesome? And I know we'll never get back to the 90s, but it's not like they're a horrible football team. They're losing games in the margins. They have lost 4 one-score games. We can throw Miami out, but the other 3 games were eminently winnable, and they lost them. I don't know that means they're just not playing hard in the moment. I just think you don't have enough really good college football players.
I don't think they played real hard against Stanford.
Maybe I
think if they play hard against Stanford, they beat them by 30.
And the
I don't know. I don't know that they're good enough with a quarterback that can't move. With a quarterback that can't move and isn't a runner, that offense is not that offense. I legitimately think, man, but that's not an excuse, because why is Tommy Castellanos here? Because you couldn't recruit quarterbacks.
Well, you didn't develop it either.
These last 2 games to me are the real indictment. Miami, you don't want to lose to them. You certainly don't want to look as bad as they did early in that game, but that's not the end of the world. The Virginia game was a Friday night on the road. You didn't play well. They played great.
That great Virginia offense that put up 13 points against North Carolina.
Some calls went against you. Those 2 games are not the end of the world. These last 2 are bad because the Pitt game, you played poorly.
Yeah.
The defense was atrocious. They looked like they didn't want to play football. They didn't come up and hit.
They were lost.
They dropped back 40 yards into coverage.
Yeah.
They didn't. It was an embarrassment the way they played defensively. Then this past game at Stanford, there was no intensity other than when you didn't need it. Jumping off sides. They played so undisciplined and poor in that game that's not a question of talent. They just they
but
were not
don't
focused.
have you can overcome
But that wasn't
some slip ups if you have better talent.
If you're incredibly talented.
I mean, I don't know that anybody is incredibly talented anymore except for like Ohio State and Athens.
You can't play as dumb as they played in that football
100%.
game.
But you can overcome some things if you have better talent. The Florida State talent level is not what it needs to be. Period. And I don't think we're arguing.
We knew that. We thought just get to 8-4. Just get to 7-5 or 8-4, and at least give yourself a chance to go get more portal guys and get more, but you haven't been able to do that.
Well, this gets to be an interesting question because in theory they could get to 7-5 or 8-4. I don't want him back regardless. He needs to go. This is done.
I'm saying our mindset before the season.
I understand, but like somebody might listen to that and go, he could. And I'm like, no, man, you got to go. We're done here. But also, Corey, to your point, I'll get more specific. He has never recruited the offensive and defensive lines the way you need to. It's specific to the line of scrimmage. If you have a dominant group or a very, very good group up front, you can have average skill position players and win a ton of games.
Yeah.
They don't have it. They had the 1 year where they got luckier than hell that Jared Verse became a preternaturally gifted player, by the way, wins Rookie of the Year in the NFL, and Braden Fisk ends up being a beast. But, man, it turns out he got really lucky.
Yeah. Got lucky with Jordan Travis, too.
He hasn't been able to develop it, and they don't demand it of his coaching staff to go out and bring it in. That line of scrimmage at best is marginal. You're constantly having to bring in a whole new offensive line in the portal. You're not going to get superstars in the portal on the offensive line. And so, yeah, it's the roster, but it's specifically the lines of scrimmage. Never did it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Preston Simpson in the chat asks, Corey, can you ask Mike what he plans to do to avoid a delay of game on the first play this week? Have they implemented any new strategies to avoid this? I wanted to bring that up because we talked about it on Coach Speak. We had a rare crossover. We had a Gus Malzahn quote clip last week talking about the delay of game. And,
which was a non-answer.
And I made the comment that I don't think they were out there in time. So I went back and watched it.
Were they out there in time?
They're out there literally. They went out to the field probably with about 20 seconds to go before the delay of game. Like they went out there. The ball is set. Clock winds. They literally start running out to the field. The TV cameras go to a graphic of the rosters or something. So we don't see what happens between then and 7. But at like 7 or 8 seconds left, Tommy starts sending guys in motion. They can't get the playoff. I have no idea what the hell happened between. It's like they went out there.
13-second missing. Oh boy, this is a Zapruder film.
I would love to know what they were doing out there. It's the craziest thing ever.
Just talking. Just what are they going to do after the game?
It's a surprisingly quaint stadium.
Yeah, it's not loud.
That's a lot of time to go out there and not do anything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's inexcusable. And
so
I don't want it to be like.
I do want to ask Mike Norvell tomorrow because we haven't asked him about that.
And I don't want it to sound like it's solely a talent problem. But I'm saying the vast majority of the issue with this team,
personnel is a huge problem.
Personnel, man.
It's been a problem.
And it goes back to high school recruiting because you can't. He has learned you just can't portal. You have to get somebody in here.
He hasn't. They were going to have to do it again if he came back.
Well, but
they had to because they haven't recruited well.
They got in this cycle.
Yeah, they got in this stupid cycle where they have to.
I don't know how you get off that ride.
Well, I think there was a window.
There was probably a window that they missed.
And it would have been tough to digest because you would have lost 4 to 5 games. It was the window before you brought in.
We had the debate.
We had the debate
at the time.
Yeah. I think you needed to wear that and go through it and stick with your guys.
But you still got to go get them.
The problem was
get good guys. I don't think the guys they had on this roster after the 2023 season were good enough to win anything.
They were not. But the point at the time, Jeff's argument at the time was, you're not going to be good enough. You're not going to be able to portal your way, especially the way the market had reset.
Correct.
In that cycle. So just wear it a little bit. Get back. You've got some grace because you went 13-1 or 13-0.
Go to war.
But the problem was they got snubbed. They were mad.
Yeah.
And everybody's
exactly
like,
what happened.
no, let's show them. Let's go back and make another run. And without realizing that the base, the players you had returning, as you made the point a bunch of times, there were not many good football
that's
players.
on him. That's on them. Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying that's another indictment.
But you could have gone about it. You could have tried to get off the carousel at that point.
I think you needed to then. You would have maybe salvaged the locker room a little bit, and then I would have put all my eggs in the basket of high school recruiting.
And there wouldn't have been huge expectations last season.
You would have gone into the year knowing you weren't going to be any good. Instead, everybody thought they were going to run it back and make a run at the playoff, and they went 2-10. and he's not going to. I didn't believe he could ever recover from that. Wanted him to, just didn't think.
You know what's crazy though, real quick, is that like last year, you look at FEI, the ephemeral guy a lot. I looked at the numbers. Last year, Florida State was the 90th ranked team in the country, just overall, whatever his ratings are. This year, they're 37th.
Yeah,
I mean, their expected win total is like 5, which is where we thought they'd be. They have been a little unlucky. Maybe not unlucky. They've lost a lot of they've lost close games,
and they've gotten screwed by refs.
Yeah, the refs have not been great
awful
to them.
Calls the last 4 weeks. I'm not saying that's excuses,
right?
But they have had some.
And you look around the country, nobody's blowing anybody out. Alabama could easily have 4 losses. They have 1. They've won the moments well. They've played the moments well. Also, Alabama has a really good quarterback and 2 receivers that go make plays. That goes back to the recruiting. They have a defense that can go make plays with the game on the line. You don't. That goes back to recruiting. You have been a little unlucky. Those margins are really thin, and you just wonder, what if they had beaten Pitt? What if Deuce doesn't get hurt? And what if they had gotten that win against Virginia? It's not that far to think that could have happened. Or they beat Stanford and lost to Pitt. They'd be, 5-2? And would we be sitting here thinking everything's great?
Well, no, we wouldn't.
Well, I know. So it's
but
like
it wouldn't be where it is.
It might have worked out well in the short term, well, especially in the long term, that they did lose these close games because it could have masked some more personnel problems.
Yes, and I do think that it is so emblematic of just who they are. They don't win those games. They don't. They're just.
Well, they don't win games, period.
If it's an ACC game, they do not.
Do not.
If it's an SEC game, bring it on.
They've loved that conference,
buddy. Let's
Good
go.
grief.
LSU, Alabama. You don't want none of this. Wait till Georgia gets some of this. Seminole headlines. 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 70 this afternoon under overcast skies. Winds out of the north, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 53 tonight. Overcast skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow. Chance of rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 74. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 60.
Looking to upgrade your backyard, your business, or even your life? Then you've got to check out Southeast Portable Buildings right here in Tallahassee.
That's right. Southeast Portable Buildings has everything. Sheds, cabins, carports, and now beautiful decks to go with them.
Imagine a brand new storage building and a deck out front. Perfect for that morning coffee or for your family gatherings.
Need something custom? No problem. They'll work with you to find exactly what fits your needs. Big or small, simple or stylish.
And with easy financing options, you can make your dream space happen sooner than you think.
Southeast Portable Buildings, where you're not just getting a building, you're getting a lifestyle upgrade. Give our friends a call today, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400.
Southeast Portable Buildings.
Big buildings.
Big decks.
Big dreams.
Southeast Portable Buildings on West Tennessee Street, just north of Capitol Circle in Tallahassee.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Krispy Kreme, ABC Flooring, Keith Lawson Services, or Tallahassee Automobile and Collectibles Museum. See over 160 vehicles dating from 1894 to 2016 that include the first car ever built in America, 3 Batmobiles, trucks, and motorcycles. Other artifacts include the finest Steinway piano collection in the world, metal cars, antique boats and motors, sports memorabilia, case knives, and much more. Find them all at Mayhan and I-10 or online at TACM.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Ira, you mentioned earlier that if they were to lose to Wake, and let's say it's bad, you do think they would pull the trigger?
I think it's on the table. I don't think I think there's a perception. Somebody said in the chat earlier that they weren't trying to be a newsbreaker, but they were saying that they talked to somebody highly connected in the program. They said Mike's going to be back next year. And my only point to that would be just as the same as I was going into Wake, and just as I was under Stanford or going into Stanford. There's no guarantees in any of this because you don't know how things are going to play out. Like there may be people in the administration right now who think it would be better for them if Mike Norvell could come back next year. Like it would be easier. This is not going to be a great market to be in the market for a new coach. Half the teams in the SEC are going to be bidding. It's just going to be a tough year to go get the coach you probably want, but you don't know what this is going to look like. This could look awful on Saturday. And it's different.
Lose to Stanford, you're assuming you're losing all of them.
And then that was my point, with the Stanford game. I was talking to Tom last night on the Smash. It's one thing to lose in the middle of the night in Stanford, where a lot of FSU fans may have turned off their TVs at 11 o'clock.
Didn't see it.
And losing at home on homecoming to Wake Forest and looking disinterested and terrible, there's no way you can run that back next year. You know what I'm saying? No matter what people behind the scenes or what people in the administration think they want to do or what the best case scenario would be, you have to see it play out. Now, same thing here. If somehow there's no indication this is going to happen, if somehow they found themselves and started playing hard and playing well and went on a run here, it's not going to happen. Nobody expects it to happen.
It could happen. Nobody thought they'd beat Bama either.
But the reason I don't like to talk in absolutes, though, is because what if it did? We've seen situations in sports.
Saw it in Gainesville last year.
Yeah, exactly. Very much. Yeah, man. People wrote his obituary because there's 5 games left. Now he ended up getting fired this year, but he survived that year. Those things can happen. We see it happen in sports for no reason. It's not like Napier turned into a great coach. That team just decided we're tired of all the BS. We're tired of people assuming we're going to lose those games. They rallied together. They played hard. They got helped by Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly and some other coaches that blew it in those games. But that could happen. So that's why I say you don't know for sure what's going to happen. But, yeah, man, if they lose ugly at home at Wake Forest, I think that could be the time. But it certainly –
if they lose ugly, I'd be like if they lose at all, I don't know what the point would be at that point. But they could win. They're 10-point favorites. They should win.
Yeah, it sucks, though, because
but even if he does, that doesn't mean you're guaranteeing he's coming back.
No, you still got at Clemson, you got at NC State, and at Florida.
Yeah,
and Virginia Tech at home might be.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of losses still to come, I'm sure. I don't see the evidence that there's not. And if I'll be honest with you, he could win the next 3 games. I still want him gone. I don't care. It's done. That guy is not going to get you to where you want to go.
So one of the things that we were talking about also on the Smash last night. It's fresh on my mind. I had been out of the game for a week.
You were.
Nobody was talking to me.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Kim, and Kim didn't care.
She's like, "What are you talking?"
She was spinning yards.
I'm just giving her my takes one after another. I would like to see them, whatever they do, whoever they bring in, I would like them to really look at how you build a football program, because I do think that the game has changed so much, the sport has changed so much, that just assuming these football coaches can figure it out. Like, do we know James Franklin's figured it out?
No.
Do we know?
We don't know that Lane Kiffin has, or Jimbo, or Brian Kelly, or anybody you want to throw out there. We don't know any of them.
And a lot of those coaches that Kirby and Ryan Day, a lot of those coaches were already, it was rolling when things changed.
Established.
They had it established.
Well,
they had that
Kirby,
pipeline.
But Brian Day was. I mean, UGA was just. I thought you said it was rolling.
Yeah, it was rolling. I'm not saying when he got the job. I'm saying when all the changes happened.
I'm sorry. I was like, Georgia wasn't rolling
I'm
under
saying
Rick.
when the portal and NIL came in, they were already
they were already good.
Building a program in this climate, in this era, with what's going on, I think you need really a holistic approach, is Michael Lawford likes to say.
Holistic.
I really think you need to look at everything and maybe look at your staffing across the board, even outside of the football coaching staff, not just assume. That's what I want. My biggest thing is whoever they hire, don't just assume that a football coach is going to figure out all that stuff, because I think if you look around, there's a reason that all these coaches are getting fired. This is a ridiculous situation. And everybody's just kind of kept the staffing kind of the way it always was.
I agree with you. I think it's changing right before our very eyes. I think it's going to be an interesting thing to vet and try to figure out how to get out in front of. I don't know, in my opinion, whether or not this current athletic director is at the forefront of any of this. I'm not sure he should be allowed to make the next decision. A lot of people look at me cross-eyed when I say that. The things I hear make me uncomfortable, and I would take the time to vet him as well.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, I think they need to look at everything.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, even whoever the AD, I don't know that the AD can be the person that's the GM of the football
absolutely
program.
not. But that's at every school.
Right.
That's not a Florida State specific thing.
So that to me, that is, and if you have a window here, because you've been in 3 years, things are about to get real. You know, when the contracts come up for the Big Ten and then the SEC,
you need to be positioning yourself.
This window, man, like it's not just about figuring out like the best way to what coach you want in place. I really think they got to look at how the whole thing is structured, and maybe you could get ahead.
But it's not a Florida State. You keep saying everyone in this country at every football school or Division I Power 4 school has to reevaluate what the flip they're doing.
Yeah, but I don't care about any of them.
Yeah,
and you have a chance. If you're making the change, you have a chance now to do that.
Yeah, because it is Brian Kelly was a success. He went 34-14 at LSU.
He was a very successful coach at Notre Dame. He was a very successful coach at Cincinnati.
Yeah,
he didn't forget how to coach. It was a terrible fit.
But sure, a terrible fit that went 10 wins, and 9 wins.
But that's one point is, though, you have to incorporate that as well. It's not just that whether a guy, they all know X's and O's. We've figured that out. They all know X's and O's. Do you fit? Is the culture right? Are you from a part of the country where there's going to be a disconnect? All of these things.
But do we think like that when it comes to NFL head coaches? If somebody's a fit with the franchise?
Oh yeah, I think so. When our guy said Duval.
Oh, Duval. Yeah, the Liam Cohen. Yeah.
A little uncomfortable.
I don't and then I don't know if Todd Bowles is a great fit in Tampa, but he wins game. I don't know if before he was hired, he was a Buccaneer through and through. He was a Buccaneer guy. You just go and get head coaches that you hope can win. And they don't hold them to this weird standard that college football teams and fan base, and this is not Norvell. Norvell should have been fired after Stanford, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is just the Brian Kelly firing and the James Franklin firing, but specifically Brian Kelly is just bizarre. They are operating in 2014 lines of thinking.
Also,
when it is 2025.
I think personalities.
I think the personality
probably.
Yeah,
that didn't help.
He told you he wasn't a fit the day he faked the freaking Southern accent upon being hired.
But then he did 10 wins, and 9 wins, and they're taking that for granted as if it's their birthright to have 10-win seasons at LSU.
That's what Georgia did and why they went to Kirby. It's why Florida. It's why any of the elite schools that want to play for championships are not going to look at a 9-win season and be like, yeah, that's cool.
I also think LSU, my theory on why I think LSU did it is because they're worried Florida was going to get in Lane Kiffin. And I think LSU wants Lane Kiffin. That's my theory. I think they want to jump on that.
They want to be in the mix.
They want to be in the mix for Lane Kiffin.
And pay him gobs of money with a huge buyout as if these schools don't learn anything ever. In this day and age, it's just not. There's so many other factors to the point. There's so many other factors that go into building a successful college football program other than a big name head coach.
One of them is your NIL program and the way you perceive where that's going.
And so paying a coach $14 million, again, the Chiefs don't pay Andy Reid that. Why in the world would LSU pay somebody $14 million to run their program?
Especially in this era when you can pay players.
When you can pay for the players.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling that there's still this 2010, 2012 idea of what a college football head coach, how important he is to the overall success of a program, when so much more of it has to do with roster retention, where the GM really is important.
Do you think fit, though, in the NFL does apply a little bit? Because, like, the Steelers are the Steelers. Like, Tomlin emblemizes.
He embraces their tradition, but he also embodies as well.
Embodies, maybe?
Embodies, yes.
But anyway,
is emblematic.
Like if the Steelers try to roll in Mike McDaniel or even Pete Carroll.
You can't have a fake drug dealer on the sidelines in Pittsburgh, buddy. What are you doing?
Worked fine in my even Pete Carroll or somebody like that. Like, I do think there is a fit even at the NFL.
I think so too. But you find that out in the interview process. I mean, you got to figure out, is this going to work? Is this guy a fish out of water? Is this something we can have around here? Seminole Headlines, hour number 2, headliner questions coming your way. Hang in. This is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good, get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right, get a new roof, going to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com. Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín, authentic Peruvian, right around the corner.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Number 5, Georgia and Florida meet at Everbank Stadium Saturday afternoon. The Bulldogs are the 7.5-point favorite, 50.5 the total. Florida State laying 8.5 against Wake Forest at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's Baylor a 5.5-point home favorite with UCF. Jaguars are 3-point road favorites at the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. The Raiders have signed wide receiver Tyler Lockett, 10 catches, 70 yards in 7 games with the Tennessee Titans before he was released. Game 4 of the World Series today. Dodgers a $2.08 favorite, 8 over the total at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles. Score $500 in rewards at the GBank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Facing Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee.
Siri, tell me a joke. How many apples grow on an apple tree? All of them.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
Can we talk about the most important things in your life? Your family, your friends, your home, and enjoying the time you spend together. You sure don't want to have to think about whether everybody's going to be comfortable. You want Tony Kelly to make sure everybody's comfortable. That's what Tony Kelly does, and that's what's most important for the entire Tony Kelly team. Their prompt, professional service and attention to detail, they're famous for it. Focus on what's most important to you and let Tony Kelly Heating and Air keep everybody comfortable.
Stay comfortable and stay focused on the most important things with Tony Kelly Heating and Air, committed to serving you and your family with exceptional service, skilled technicians, and reliable high-quality work. Go to TonyKellyInc.com to find their full range of HVAC services, including repairs, installations, inspections, and maintenance. TonyKellyInc.com or call 850-385-3774.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, headliner questions coming your way in just a moment. Of course, this hour brought to you by our dear friends, Birch Orthodontics, Dr. Birch and her staff, the best of the best. And our kids went there. Our significant others' kids went there.
Step kids, yeah.
Our coworkers' kids
went there. And we trust them. We believe in them. So does everybody that has brought their kids to Dr. Birch, and her staff do a great job. So we always say thanks for her undying loyalty.
I've always said there's two kinds of people in this world, Corey Clark.
People that go to Dr. Birch and people who don't.
People who wish they did.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah. Because I think, listen, if your kids, you send them to somebody else, I mean, it's, everybody, it's a free world. It's a free country. You can go wherever you want to go. But I think you'll regret it if you don't go to Dr. Birch. Her staff is incredible.
You'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it'll be kind of something that just
deathbed type
stuff.
Yeah,
a pall over you.
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, on your deathbed, if you're looking at what your mouth looks like, you're like, "What did I do with my life?"
There's probably other competent orthodontists out there. It's fine.
I mean,
we can acknowledge it, but you will not find anybody that's better in terms of customer service. They make it easy. The process. They handle tough cases. Great with the kids. Great with the people.
Knowles. She's a Knowles. Yeah.
Great staff. BirchOrthodontics.com is the website, and set up your free consultation and get all the information you need.
I like it. All right, Court. Court says, hello, gentlemen. By the way, that's a great picture of you, Court. You look handsome there in your suit.
And I assume Court is probably short for Cortland. Do we think?
I don't know.
Courtney.
Probably not a dude. It's a dude, right?
Could be.
I guess there are male Courtneys. Yeah. Courtney Brown, the great Penn State defensive lineman. Yeah. How's it spelled? How's Court spelled?
Like Court spelled.
Like Court?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it probably is Courtney then.
Hello, gentlemen. Any thoughts on stop?
Sorry.
Hello, gentlemen. Any thoughts on FSU going after Glenn Schumann, defensive coordinator at Georgia? He's 35. Started off as a grad assistant at Bama, as a student assistant in 2008, and then grad assistant in 2011. Was the director of football operations there from 24 to 20. What was it? 14 to 16. Oh, from 14 to 16. When Kirby left for Georgia, he took him with him, made him in the on-field coach. He's learned from the best, an up-and-comer, probably economically viable as well.
I would like to know more about him as far as how much he's on the recruiting trail. The thing that always sold us all about Jimbo back in 06 or 07 when he was taken over was how good a recruiter he was. And I love, like everybody knows, I would be very fond of James Franklin just because of how he does with personnel. But I love that a resume like that too. A coordinator at a big boy school, because Andy Staples brought this up on Twitter. The 3 best coaches in the country right now, probably you could argue, are Kirby Smart, who had never been a head coach, Dan Lanning, who had never been a head coach, and then Ryan Day, who had never been a head coach. Now, Ryan Day took over Ohio State, but still, I think that point remains. That might be the avenue to go. You don't have to pay $15 million for him.
Yeah.
And he knows what it looks like. Right. I don't know how he runs a program. How could you know? But he knows what it looks like and what good players look like.
Again, my only point, if you do that, again, that accentuates my point.
Yeah.
Of the need to have a lot of, the biggest mistake they made.
Maybe he'll bring Kirby with him.
The biggest mistake they made with Willie Taggart wasn't just hiring him. It also was the fact that they let him just build his staff and bring in the assistants he wanted to bring in.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, I really wish whoever they hire, and if it is Schumann, somebody like that, I like the resume. I'm not against it at all, but really make sure you're bringing in people, because a lot of times we see it in our own lives. Like there are people in journalism who are good reporters that are not good editors. There's people who are great salesmen, but are not great sales managers. You don't know.
Like Michael Scott was a really good salesman,
he was great,
but
salesman.
not a great manager of that office.
I mean, he had some flaws.
Yes.
He had some work through some flaws. My point is, there are examples of the ones who work. There's a lot of examples of the ones that 100%. Don't work.
But it's all, you could do that with hiring a low-level head coach.
I just think, again,
a lower-level head coach.
Build a support staff that's modern to help them out.
Who's his OC? Who's he bring? He better not bring Bobo. He's not bringing Bobo with him. Yes, you need to have a crystal clear plan of what somebody like that is going to bring in to run a program.
So what's interesting is I can give you on the other coast the same resume, only on the opposite side of the ball, which is Will Stein. Will Stein, up and coming OC with Oregon. Same thing. He's come up through the ranks. He's 30-something years old. He's had a lot of success. That guy will be somebody that people look at. He is a former quarterback himself. He was at Louisville. He has been he's 36. There will be a lot of guys like that available that have had success that are coordinators. I think that will be met with skepticism, but I'm not real sure there's a hire you could make outside of Lane Kiffin or James Franklin or somebody big like that wouldn't be met with skepticism. Everybody's going to be like, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? Because, again, I don't think they're going after a massive name. The lone exception would be, to me, because Lane's not coming here, would be if they brought in Franklin. That might be one guy that they would look at if you could get him on the cheap and get Penn State to pay a good portion of that. I mean, I'd be for it because he can recruit.
What's interesting, the thing about like coaching hires, and we see it all the time. We've seen it here, these last 3 coaching hires. Very often you want to go the opposite way of what you just had. So when Jimbo left, they wanted somebody who they thought the players would like, was much more upbeat and positive than the way Jimbo left.
That's the route they went. Yeah.
So you went with Willie Taggart. That was a dysfunctional mess. So Mike Norvell being organized, on point, focused, that was why they went to Mike Norvell. I am curious, like subconsciously, like what the powers that be are going to be looking for. My guess is because if the belief is that Mike Norvell's message is not resonating anymore,
stale,
that maybe it's a guy that has that magnetic personality, that the belief that they're going to get players to buy in and play at a higher level, play harder, maybe be more of a hard ass or something along those lines to demand more of the players. Mike Norvell feels a little bit more of a, kind of the new school. A lot of people compared to like a youth pastor or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they go in a different direction. So I wonder if that plays into part, like when they're looking for who they're looking for. Because somebody mentioned Brian Hartline. I think I'm curious to see if they want to go in a different direction in terms of what the messaging is.
If Brian Hartline could just steady feed this program, those receivers,
5-star wide
holy
receivers.
cow.
Fun to watch.
The other Monday night, Terry McLaurin is the best receiver for Washington. I forgot he went to Ohio State. Yeah. They all went to Ohio State. Yeah. It's unbelievable. When was the last badass receiver this place had?
It's been a minute.
Gosh, dog, man. You're in the state of Florida.
Yeah, it bothers
What's
me.
going on?
It's
like Deuce is a really good receiver, but he's from Arizona. When was the last big-time Florida guy they got? Erman Lane? You know what I mean? Like, where is it?
Responsible for one of the weirdest plays.
Yeah, the great touchdown.
Great
touchdown. How crazy.
I watched it 47 times. I don't know how the ball's in his hands.
It's out of the Matrix or something.
Like, what's going on? It goes through that dude.
Why did Judge Jameis just throw it to the linebacker again?
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, it's bizarre. But again, I think that what this is going to produce in all likelihood is somebody that a lot of people are going to second guess. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't really care.
Don't care at all.
I do want to know, does he have a track record in recruiting the hell out of offensive and defensive line? That's what I want to know. Can you?
Well, he
go
probably
bring
will have
in
a track record of both if he's a coordinator.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll have one or the other.
Fine, and then surround yourself with the other side. That's fine with somebody who does that at a high level. In addition to Register Sausage, do you know what other links we like around here? That's right, Link Jared, everybody. How much did the financial aspects of other sports play into the decision to keep Mike at this time? That question comes from Mike.
What's the question?
How much did the financial aspects of other sports play into the decision to keep Mike at this time? Because we just gave him $2 million.
They're putting more money to Link and maybe basketball.
I see. How much more money do we think Link's getting?
I have the paperwork.
It's $2 million, right?
Yeah. I have the
How much?
paperwork.
What was the
like
raise?
Crazy more. It's not crazy.
Well, it better
more.
not be. It's college baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
I have
not
to
go
look at it
crazy.
again. I got the document yesterday, but yeah, it's a couple $100,000 more a year, something like that. I'm not sure exactly.
Nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's a commitment. But I think man, football is its own entity. What they're spending on any of these other sports does not factor into what they're doing in football.
I agree.
It better not. It better not.
Travis says, absolutely love the show and all of the sponsors.
Oh, there we go.
But
Nice.
sadly, we don't care about this football program anymore. When are you guys going to talk about baseball?
It's coming. We got just 4 more months.
That sentiment will happen.
I'll be there. I'll be there Friday night. They got the Garnet and Gold All-Star game with a home run derby afterwards.
Nice.
The problem is it starts at 6:30 and it's supposed to be chilly. So I'd rather they do the home run derby first. I'd like to see Miles Bailey hit home run, a bunch of home runs.
Yeah, I went to the exhibition the other day against UAB, and Miles Bailey hit one out there.
Yeah, did he hit it well?
Monster.
Yeah, he does.
He usually does.
Yeah.
But it was what I was disappointed with was the way they did the pitching. It was basically an inning every guy. Like Abraham pitched 2 innings, but everybody else pitched 1 inning. It's just hard to get a feel for. I mean, you can see a little bit of some of those guys' stuff, but it's
October.
By the way, you know what I did, fellas? My brother was in town from New Hampshire, and I took him all over the city. We did a lot of different things. We went to the FSU circus, flying high.
Nice.
Oh.
Had a great time on that night, and a nice gentleman came over to me. I didn't know if he wants me to mention him on the air, so I'll withhold his name, but I got his card. He said
Or
that
his initials.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
He says to me, "Hey, Jeff." Oh, first he asked if I was who he thought I was, and I said, "Well, yes, I am."
But keep it moving.
And then he did. He said, and that's why I brought it up.
Is Ira really as cool as he seems?
No, he didn't say
no
that
way
at all.
anybody's ever asked that.
He didn't say that. He said, love your show. Also love headlines. And I want you guys to know, if you come out here in the spring, if you're going to come back out here the next time we're having an event, I want to take you and Ira and Corey around on a VIP experience.
Of the circus?
Of the circus.
Oh, absolutely. I've lived here for almost 20 years now. I've never done the circus.
I did it.
Yeah, I need to do it.
It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I will absolutely take them up.
Let me tell you something, man. All that flying around is nuts. Watching
Yeah.
those guys slinging people all over the place. Holy moly. It was
It's a
fun.
good time.
It was a good time. I had a
I'm
good
glad
time.
they got that tent back.
Yeah. And
Or a
they
new
brought
tent.
that up. They
Yeah.
thanked all the sponsors repeatedly.
Apparently, it's like a fancy tent they had to ship from Italy or something.
State-of-the-art
Yeah.
circus tent.
They're not making those over in Quincy.
Oh,
No, in Cottondale, they're not doing that. They're not building circus tents.
Under the big top these days. Along with your question of which type of coach to go after, do you pick the highest dollar coach, but you get whoever you want? But we struggle with paying coordinators and players, low ball coach and top tier coordinators. What's the route you go? Kristen wants to know.
I want the best. I want the route that gets me the best players.
That's your focus. I've got a sense that that's your focus.
all I'm about. That's all. I don't know that Norvell was a great coach in 2023, but somehow he managed to win 19 straight games. I think it had a lot to do with the guys on the field. So get good players. Get good NFL players, and you're going to win a lot. Get some Renardo Greens up in you. Get some Tatum Bethunes and some Jared Verses.
You know who's
and some
playing
Keon Colemans.
You know who's playing a good brand of football in the NFL these days?
Tatum Bethune.
No, what's his name? But he is playing. No, what's his name? Was it Brown? Brown? What was the kid that ran off to Louisville?
Brownlee.
Yeah.
Brownlee, yeah. The
Brownlee.
corner, yeah.
Brownlee's out there whooping ass.
Man, I
always loved him. I always loved
he
him.
got such a bad deal, man.
He got a lot of shade in the Johnny game against Louisville in 22 because Johnny mossed him up. But it's like those
Johnny's
are incredible
6'7".
catches. Like Brownlee's right there, and Johnny just made a couple of insane catches.
I always liked him because he'd come up and hit you.
Yes, he would.
He wasn't
Tough
afraid.
kid.
Now, he was trailing there on the Jacksonville State touchdown in the game.
That was the play that got everybody mad at him. But, man, there's 8 other dudes on that field that are loafing around.
Jamie Robinson's not busting it either.
How about your defensive coordinator and not be out there and robber?
What?
Like,
No, come on.
can
You want to keep him from trying that field goal attempt.
What are we doing here? Good afternoon, boys. If you could only listen to one artist, who would it be, and what would be a preferred song? Oh, he means a musician there? Okay. Oh, well, that would suck because no matter who it is, I don't care who you say,
you
if
don't
you
want to
listen to the same
one
artist
song.
over and over again, you're sick of them immediately.
Well, it's
There's no
Taylor
chance.
Swift. I just got to feel which song it
or
would be.
album?
Something off the new album, obviously. Life of a Showgirl. That might be one of the songs. So that.
Yeah.
Good choice, Corey.
Yeah. You
That's for you, dog.
You stole ours.
Yeah. You
I
gotta
would
pick another
listen to
one.
something that didn't have singing because that would get old in a hurry. I'd probably pick a jazz number of some sort.
So it's just one song?
What about the Eric Clapton, the song at the end of
Layla?
Goodfellas? That's a huge instrumental, but it also has Layla. Yeah. Layla, because it has a long instrumental at the end, so you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You can sing along if you want.
Back in the old Derek and the Dominoes days.
Yeah, the Derek and the Dominoes.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
It's in 47 movies.
I go cycles. And right now I'm in a little bit of Fleetwood Mac cycle.
Oh,
I've been listening to a lot
that's so fitting. What are you, 54-year-old white guy?
Yeah, I mean, hey, Central Casting.
That's your demo.
Stunning.
Fleetwood Mac. Who are they?
It's either that or Doechii. My daughter went to a Doechii concert.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Is that a band or a person?
A lady, a girl.
Oh, all right.
Timothy says
Pass the Doechii on the left hand. That song. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
I?
Yeah. We all agree. Did you say Doobie last week? 2 weeks
did.
ago?
He said Doobie.
He's quoting
Doobie.
He's quoting Musical Youth or whatever.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go,
right.
Ira.
Good job, Ira. We all agree recruiting has to be the lifeblood of the program. If we fire Mike and hire a Mario, let's say, or Kirby or Lanning or whomever.
Kirby. Okay.
Yeah. Are we willing to be mediocre a few years until the top 10 classes start to take hold? I mean, well, yeah. I'd take 6-4 right about. 6-6 right about now. I don't think this guy's going to get there this year.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Also, I think if you're competent, you're going 8-4, 9-3 next year.
You can do quick fixes, as we've seen. The guy in Indiana, it is unbelievable what he's doing in Indiana. Not just winning games, pummeling teams.
Oh,
like
every
it's
Saturday.
90s Florida State. It doesn't
Saturday.
make sense. Nobody beats teams
How
like
about-
Indiana's beating teams.
How about Indiana falling into that? There's no way they thought for half a second that's what they were getting. And now look at this. They have the best coach in football.
Apparently, and think about poor Jalen Lucas. Just toiling in obscurity in Indiana. He's like, I got a chance to go to a big-time program. They just won 13 games, and we got this weirdo that drinks bourbon and smokes cigars coming in that says, Google me. I can't get out of here fast enough. I want to go win some real games. And Indiana's like 20-2.
They had an offensive lineman when they fired their coach before bringing in Cignetti, and he was a really good offensive lineman, like upper echelon. And Florida State was in the running to get him, and his visit here went so poorly, namely because Atkins sucks. And they couldn't connect. There was nothing. So he decided to go back to one of the guys, and decided to go back to Indiana. Do you think he's just like on his knees every night? Like,
man.
Can you imagine?
Well, if he was here, maybe the tide would have turned here.
It wasn't going to turn.
And we'll see if Atkins sucks. He gets to call plays this weekend.
All right.
Right? Or they get a week
does.
off, and then
I'm
whatever
not
the
sure.
next game is.
Guys, we think it's too late to fire Mike with all the open SEC jobs. Don't think a bidding war for a big name coach is the way to go, though.
Yes, correct. So it shouldn't matter. You've got to. This needs to be a smart hire, man. You can't throw a ton of money at this hire because, as we've said, if there was a guarantee, like if Nick Saban wanted to come back,
I'd pay him $18 million
I'd
per.
pay him whatever he wanted.
Big and
I'd give him a gold car for every day of the week. But other than that, there are no guarantees, man. So you don't have to throw gobs of money at this. And Auburn traditionally makes horrible hires. So apparently does Florida. So you don't want to compete in those waters anyway because they aren't good at it. So we'll see what ends up happening. I think Florida is at the point where they can't get it wrong. They got to get a big name. You can't hire another Napier clone or a McElwain clone.
I'm surprised. I don't suppose he actually has the authority to do it. I'm sure it's the Bull Gators, but how in the world you let that AAD make this hire is beyond me.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Director Nick and also Glenn in the chat point is Carter Smith was that offensive lineman you were remember his name.
And now he's at Indiana, still doing pretty well.
I don't know. That's the last I saw. I don't know. He may have moved on, but Jesse J. Wright, Stoke is going to be full of booze, sad. Yeah, it's been full of booze before, though. We'll get past that.
Here's the thing, man. This is the frustrating thing to me about all of this is I don't think this is that hard. Like I think Florida State has found a way to make it harder than it needs to be in terms of just being successful. I don't think,
you think? Yeah,
there are good coaches, man.
Yeah,
there are
they're
good
everywhere.
coaches.
Well, to that point, Florida State is such a good job that Mike Norvell won 19 games in a row here. And is anybody listening to think this right now or watching this, do they think Mike Norvell is a great college football coach? No. And he won 19 games here. You can't. There are tons of coaches out there that could win here and win some pretty big. Also, there are plenty of coaches that can fall on their face, and that goes for every school in the country, I guess not named Ohio State. Literally, like every single coach. LSU, 3 of their last 4 coaches have won national champions. 3 have all been fired, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the sport. Well,
we all laughed at Ed Orgeron, and he put together, and, listen, I would still laugh at Ed Orgeron, but that team may have been one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the history of football, and nobody thought it was because of him.
No.
Nobody was like, oh, that Ed Orgeron's a genius. No. Nobody thought that, right?
He saw something in Burrow.
Well,
he saw something in Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
That's another route you could go.
Yeah, you getting really good players.
No, young Brady was the OC, who's now the OC in Buffalo, right? You can go that route.
I feel like LSU would go after him. That's who they should go after.
They're going to go after Lane, I think.
I guess.
But the same thing with him. Gene Chizik was another one that when the magic in the bottle, it happens. You get it all comes together. Lightning in a bottle. You win it. You have that run, but you don't. Did they really believe that it was going to be good? Like for a long time, like Edo got that huge contract.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Did you really think that he was the ticket, or was it Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
So that's where I think
Jamar Chase was pretty good too.
Yes. But that's where you look at these administrators and say, like, do you need to sign the 8-year, 10-year deal? To me, if it's a James Franklin or somebody like that, I think you could come up with a deal.
Incentive laden.
Very incentive laden. And I know that that's not the market.
I don't care.
You'll find somebody who will.
Yes.
And there
I
are
got
a lot of
question
good
for
coaches
you that encapsulates a lot of what we've been asked in there, so I'll save us the time. I am curious your answers here. Do you think some of why they haven't fired him yet, you talk about behind the scenes maneuvering and trusting Peter Collins and the like, right? Okay. Do you think it's because they're trying to figure out which of those Sexton properties are available for purchase, and the puppet master is telling you, well, these 5 might work, but you got to let me get this guy over here and this guy over here. I mean, do you think that's what's holding this up?
I think there's a possibility you can play that game if you want to,
but I wouldn't.
I'm not saying they should.
No,
but that may be the way. You could talk yourself into believing that that's the way to go, because he can make things work for you. Like that's what he's good at.
He can also screw you, as he's done a million times.
100%. But he does represent all of these parties.
Yes.
And so that I do think that could be a factor. Listen, man, I do believe in, again, if you look at the big picture, and I tweeted this last week, if you look at Peter Collins and Richard McCullough, the president of the university now, they have done a very good job with a lot of big things. You look at the fact that they sued the ACC and won, to the point where Florida State's going to get probably $20 million more than some of these other schools are going to get based on TV. They were successful in that. They're about to take over TMH. You may have a different opinion. You may not think that's a great idea. Florida State getting its own hospital is a big freaking deal. These guys are not idiots. So the idea that they're just twiddling their thumbs, hoping Mike Norvell figures it out, I don't think makes any sense. So no, I don't know exactly what their plan is, but I do believe that they're working on something.
They have a plan. It might not even be a good one, because who knows what a good plan in college football is anymore. You know what I mean? That's where we are. I don't, other than Saban and Kirby, there are no guarantees that you bring in somebody in your program is automatically better for the short and long term.
How celebrated was Texas A&M when they got Jimbo?
Yeah.
I mean,
and we told them.
But
and they got mad at us. Those A&M folks were pissed at the you. I mean, they were like, "What are you? You're just butthurt." And we're like,
but
"No,
then
you're
how
getting a broken
excited
man."
were they when they hired Elko? Not much.
Not as much.
No, they got the coach from Duke.
No, they wanted Stoops. Remember that. They tried to hire Mark Stoops. It leaked out. The fan base got pissed off, so they went the route of Elko, which didn't make anybody happy, and he's awesome.
And
he's always been awesome.
But that's one where I wondered about fit, because he is not a Southerner. He's not a
sway.
He's not buying a ranch like Jimbo.
Dog
just turns out if you whoop ass, they'll love you. Whether you're a New York guy or a Florida guy, a Georgia guy, a California, doesn't matter. Win games.
The fit only matters when you start losing games.
That's right.
And that's,
But I do think day-to-day operations, if you're uncertain and you're going to cut a check for $12 million a year, maybe you don't do it. Like when you say, this guy, I don't know, he's not going to relate to our fans. He doesn't relate to our players. He hasn't ever recruited down here before. Maybe we'll look somewhere else. You can.
But Brian Kelly was another one where it's like that was seen as such a, man, what a grand slam. You got Brian Kelly to leave Notre Dame?
And he did all that at Notre Dame. What's he going to do when he gets these players? What's he going to do when he gets those guys?
Well, that's why he left there, because he also didn't see the changing aspects of college football. I bet if he had to do it over again, I mean, look, Freeman's kicking ass there.
I hope he stayed there.
And I'm saying he would have just stayed there if he knew what has happened to the game was going to happen. He would have never left.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't fit LSU's
But doesn't it seem crazy that we still kind of operate in this the mindset of what it was before this current incarnation of college football? That's all I'm saying. Like, you do need to look at this hire a lot differently, and you need to figure out what kind of what kind of person, not even personality, what kind of resume you want to lead your program, and how are you going to get players into your program?
Yeah,
it is a player-driven sport like it always has been, but now it doesn't matter so much if you have a magnetic personality as a head coach.
Oh, it does. Relationships matter.
Sure.
They do, but
not as much.
No, I think they do. But here's my point, though. Like, you look at what Stanford's doing with Andrew Luck, and somebody mentioned this in the chat.
Yes.
Andrew Luck is now he is the alpha in that program.
Yes, it is abundantly clear.
He went and got $50 million from somebody to donate to the program. He's calling the shots. When they hire a head coach, it ain't going to be somebody bigger than Andrew Luck.
Well, remember this. His dad did that for a living.
Right.
Andrew Luck's dad was an executive.
Big-time guy.
Yes.
That's my point, though. I think that's the position where you need the stud. And then take it off of these football coaches, man. Because if you have the stud in that position, then the football coaches now is a little bit more interchangeable.
How about Jimbo?
They can't hold you hostage.
No BS here. Jimbo in that role.
I don't know.
Just identifying players. Just identifying players, but not having to talk to people.
I don't know, man.
All right.
You're going to have to talk to people if you're going to identify and talk to players.
No, I mean, talk to fans, talk to media.
But it's also like, again, the revisionist history thing. I sent you and Aslan that list of the linebackers he signed over the last 5 years.
Not great. Not great.
So it's not like he's
D-line overall, he was very good for the most part at getting people here. And he got Derwins and Jalen's and all those guys.
My biggest problem with Jimbo is that he could never stay focused. There was always something he was mad about.
There was a fight to pick.
Wanted more power, and he got distracted. I think when he was focused only on getting players, I think he did a good job of that.
Yeah. But he wants to coach. I get it. He would never do that. But I agree, man. I think you got to look at it like that's a huge role. No offense to anybody in that current role at Florida State, you got to go get a big ass name to be your GM, to be somebody that is out there as the player personnel guy, bringing people to Florida State.
And figure out allocation of funds and how you build your roster and what percentage of the money goes to this position group and all of that stuff. I agree with you. You could bring in a guy like a Summerall from Tulane who's 43 years old, is a badass, got his start in the SEC, played linebacker at Kentucky, built a program, has been a winner both places, has done more with less, and then you surround him with people who are going to give him the talent and let him coach it up. He gets everybody to buy in constantly. I'm not saying he's a perfect fit. I don't know that there is, but there's an example. You could probably get him, his name's starting to get some buzz, so we'll see. But that could be a guy for $5-6 million.
It's not hard to win at Florida State, man. It's not hard.
Apparently.
It's impossible.
For the last 9 years.
It is not hard to win here, man. Good grief.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in just a moment.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the Battle's End. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
If you're looking for the perfect date night spot, treat your special someone to a cozy courtyard dinner at Café de Martín, Tallahassee's hidden gem for authentic Peruvian cuisine. Share a bottle of wine, dive into our sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas or our famous chupe de camarones, and fall in love with the flavors of Peru. Visit Café de Martín, where every dish tells a love story. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Hey, it's me, your car. That crack on your windshield? Yeah, it's not a good look. People are starting to stare.
Don't let your car be embarrassed. Call Seminole Auto Glass for fast, professional auto glass replacement. We'll fix chips, cracks, and your shattered pride.
Please, for both of us.
Call 850-539-4527 or visit SeminoleAutoGlass.com today. Seminole Auto Glass, saving cars
and their egos.
one windshield at a time. Better call Seminole.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Right after we get done telling you about how delicious Tavello is, I'm going to turn to you two and ask that you keep it succinct and we rapid fire some Twitter questions. I want
Tavello is awesome and
let's
really,
talk
really
about Tavello.
tasty.
And then we're getting after it, okay? Tavello's delicious. You guys know that. You can get it at the game Saturday.
You're going to need some.
Probably need 10.
Yeah.
Order in bulk.
So you
obviously Uber home.
Yep.
Have a driver.
Right.
You were curious why they went with the IPA.
I was.
Maurice is thinking.
Yeah. You're not going to. You want to be a little blurry.
You don't want to go with a lager.
Yeah.
You don't want to. You need the hard stuff.
You need to get right to it.
But if you go up to Thomasville, also, we're going to be going up there again. The Victorian Christmas is coming up soon, guys.
Nice.
You guys need
You don't
to
have
come
to tell
up
us
there.
that. Me and Jeff are dialed into that.
Always.
But if you go up into Thomasville, it's a quick ride up there, especially if you live on the northeast side of town. Go up to Thomasville, go to Tavello, the tap room there. They've got an awesome patio, a beautiful time of year to be out on the patio.
Oh, good. I need to go there today or tomorrow.
Let's make it happen.
Let's go.
And then all the different varieties, the lager, which is awesome, the coffee blonde, which we love.
We both love that.
But then they've got the IPAs, the stouts, all the variety, and great people. Maurice and Lynn are awesome, huge Knowles, and you'll meet a lot of people there that you like. So go check it out.
Yeah, they're as disappointed as all of you.
Yes.
They are so angry. They're probably into their own stash at this point, just sucking down Tavellos left and right while they try to sell it as well. All right. I'm a fan, writes Amy, who is concerned about landing the best softball and soccer players. And I want to keep our current coaches happy. If Michael Alford is disconnected from the current state of the NIL and Collins is against a new stadium for baseball, why don't we tell them both to get the hell up out of here? Ooh,
Okay,
come out
I like
swinging,
it.
Amy.
I feel like they're doing all right in those two sports, though, right?
Well, will they continue to be?
I don't know.
If we
I
have a
think
disconnected
people are a
view?
little emotional because the Boulware's daughter, Boulware
Yes,
and Vanderlyn's
I'd be a
daughter.
little
we talked
emotional
about that
too.
on the show last week. Yeah.
That's not good.
Number one player in the country. Both of her parents played at Florida State, and she went to South Carolina. We don't know what all happened
From
there.
South Carolina.
But we
She's
hear
from South Carolina.
We hear some things now, don't we? Though.
She's from South Carolina.
Also, again, man, we talk about softball and how much money you need to. Listen, man, it's an awesome program. Lonnie and her staff, Travis, that whole crew is awesome. You could not talk about a program like I couldn't draw it up any better. That's an awesome program. It's not unlimited funds though, and they do a great job in recruiting. I don't know where, you can't get mad.
What if they just went all in on softball and eschewed everything else?
And we all
football.
walked around wearing our softball jerseys and stuff.
And went and got the Kennedy girl from Texas Tech. Just went all in on softball and put together an Oklahoma type team.
That would be a plan. But listen,
it's
man,
more games, it's more wins, it's more fun.
I don't know what the answer is, man. if you talk to people around the program, there are people who support men's basketball, who love FSU men's basketball, who feel like, is Link getting too much money? And then there are people who love baseball who are like, man, why are we blowing all that money in football? When it could be coming to baseball. So this is the world you're going to live in. I'm sure it's happening on every campus. It's like the
Falcons having to worry about what the Braves are spending.
Like you have the same pot of money.
You're going to spend all that money on Acuna? Like we need a power forward if you're a Hawks. Like
you might need a new coach is what you might need.
I mean, look, I like their effort.
By Miami.
I like their effort. They just got unlucky. Got unlucky.
Just like getting beat 30-0 by Carolina.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then as far as the baseball stadium, Peter Collins said on our town hall.
It's kind of in jest, though, right?
Well, it wasn't. I don't know if it was in jest.
It was a little in jest, Ira.
His point was, man, we've just taken on how many hundreds of millions of dollars in debt for football.
No, I know.
I don't know that we're rushing out to build a brand new baseball facility.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Well,
Buster, you need to save that money.
I mean, what is Buster doing? What is Buster doing? Yeah, you're right.
Hiring the clown from Tennessee, which is that's a crazy hire.
I don't know that was totally Buster's call.
It couldn't have been. But in no way, shape, or form would those two get along.
You wouldn't think.
No, good God, no.
I think he's a baseball mind.
You know that here's the nice thing about MLB teams: when they hired a bad coach,
they can fire him.
They don't have to wait. They're not held hostage by a 12-year contract.
Yeah, they'll fire him in 40 games if they have to.
What say you, asks Mark. The reason FSU hasn't fired Mike yet is the 2026 schedule, and perhaps more so, they hope the market for coaches' salaries gets reset to something more reasonable. Seems like college football needs a reset in this current era anyways.
Well, yes, it does, but then Cignetti signed that extension for $1 billion, so apparently it's just not going to ever reset. But that doesn't mean you have to play that stupid game, because it is a stupid game.
So the point he's making, though, is the feeling some people have is because the schedule's so hard, because you owe them so much money, is there do people in the administration think like, are they thinking
you can't?
And here's my and I'm with you. And I'm with you because you have to watch it. They may have had that in their mind.
Yeah.
If it's 4-2 or 3-2 or whatever, like, oh man, just limp through this. Yeah. And we'll see what happens next year, and then we'll make the move. But if this ends with 7, 8, 9 straight losses,
but if it doesn't, like legitimately, you just talked about it 2 segments ago.
If you
like
get to 7-5,
if you get to 7-5,
no, fire his ass. If you're 7-5,
I get you're saying
fire
that.
him.
I get you're saying
what
it.
What are you waiting on? Stop it. What are you talking
that's
about?
An enormous improvement, Jeff.
It's ridiculous.
7-5. You have a nice win over Clemson or Florida.
Win over Clemson over Florida.
Oh my Lord!
Nobody's even going to remember the Stanford loss.
You're responsible for lowering the standards, sir. You are responsible.
Just trying to save some money around here.
Stop that.
He can
nonsense.
go get his head kicked in next season with that schedule.
Smiley writes, tell us the real reason they're not firing Mike yet. What candidate do we have a real shot at right now? Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, I do think, listen, a lot of people were worried when they didn't fire him last week and Florida did fire their coach was, are you losing out of the James Franklins? Because listen, man, you're not hiring any of these active coaches who are playing games that in their season
like
still
Lane
matter.
Kiffin could be coaching until January.
Right.
What National Signing Day is December 4th.
Yeah.
What in the world are either one of those teams going to do? Who are they going to sign?
And there's a bunch of other teams that are in the running for the playoff. Like they're going to be in it, but there's others. So
Florida State is not in the running.
You're not missing out on active coaches other than James Franklin. That is one. If you wanted him, and if you do want him, and I do,
Brian Kelly,
talking to people around the program, that he has interest in Florida State.
Yes,
now, whether or not
I've heard that too.
Yeah. So whether or not that's who they want, but that doesn't mean just because that he wants it doesn't mean, and maybe if you can make it work, doesn't mean it's the right move.
Right.
But that's one option right now. But a lot of these other coaches, yeah, man, they're still coaching. There's only so much you could do.
Could he retain Norvell? And then you don't have to pay the buyout
just to handle his press conferences.
Yeah,
people like those.
People can't wait
they want
to
that
hear
message.
another Mike Norvell press conference where all the opportunities in the world are presented, buddy. Afternoon, men, writes Jared. I think in this era of college football, there are many successful coaches. I don't care if we hire a no-name or a second-tier coach at this point. Get someone who recruits.
Yep. Right on the he's barking up my tree right
Somebody
there.
mentioned Matt Campbell in the chat.
Oh, and from Iowa State.
Here's
he's
the thing.
Been successful and he's a good coach.
He has been successful, and they did talk to him last time. But I just want to point this out because people have been saying that he's maybe Penn State or whoever, and it's like that guy. From what I understand, when FSU did interview him 6 years ago when they hired Mike Norvell, he does not want to leave. He doesn't want to be at this level. He's very happy at the level.
That's fairly obvious. He's had opportunities.
Isn't that that's the same thing to me as hiring the guy at South Florida, going and hiring the guy at Iowa State. I just want somebody who's been around big time football.
Or recruits.
Well, recruiting to Iowa State and recruiting to Georgia are completely different things.
Agreed, but we don't. I mean, Alex Golesh is doing a whole lot of things right now at USF. I know they just lost to Memphis and blew a lead in the fourth quarter. I'm just saying, we don't exclude the Alex Goleshes of the world because we're sitting here talking about trying to hire a guy for $3 or $4 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it, but I think you could get a coordinator. I'd rather go the coordinator route from a big boy school than a AAC head coach.
Wasn't Golesh an assistant at Tennessee? Wasn't he?
Yes.
So I mean, he's been around it.
Oh yeah, he's been around it. And Golesh was said at the time coming into this year was maybe eyeing that Tennessee situation, but they're winning too many games.
That's different. If you've been there, that's different.
And there were some people around Tennessee that I talked to a year ago who thought Golesh leaving really is what was hurting.
Yes, they absolutely did.
There was a big loss.
By the way, Corey, this is my point about Summerall at Tulane, who's done a great job there. His roots are Kentucky and Ole Miss. He played in the SEC. He built his coaching career in the SEC and then moved on. A lot of people believe he was the architect of what's going on now at Ole Miss and some of what happened.
I hope he's not the architect
of Kentucky basketball, because that would be
that would be incredible.
No, but when he was there, they were winning 10 or 11 games. So it's like Kentucky had that little run.
Yeah, man, I am all about a guy that's a good football coach. The guy at Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest nailed it again. I think they've got a perfect coach.
Son of a bitch. It's unbelievable.
Right?
Just stumbling into the best coach available every time. What the hell
they
are
don't
we
even
doing?
care. There's nobody in Winston-Salem that can recall his name.
Dylan, two-part question. Considering college football coaching landscape with LSU, UF, Penn State job openings, would naming an interim head coach be the best option, i.e. Sharon Moore, like they did at Michigan? If yes, is Tony White the best option? I believe he's a rising coach. He's just had average linebacker play. Average? You're being awfully nice to him.
Yeah, it's average depending on what the bar is. That's why I thought maybe they would do it. And then what if he did go 4-0 or 4-1? But is that good for Florida State? I think Tony White could. We have no idea.
No, I agree.
He's been around.
I was a little more high on Tony White before the last few games, though.
Ira, what happened?
Well, not just the play, but there was two different situations in that game Saturday with players and assistant coaches or head coaches.
Things didn't go.
And they were on that side of the ball. That bothers me a little bit.
But I would say this. I do think he walked into a bad situation with average-ass talent, and a head coach has been tuned out. That's a tough set of cards to deal with. But I'm with you. There's some things that were a little eye-opening lately that bother me.
And it's his guys that jumped off sides on a field goal. His guys that were off sides on a fourth down in multiple games now in key situations.
I do like that the best players on that. He does seem to identify.
Yeah. No,
he knew Jabril Rawls could play. He knew Earl Little could play. And he knew the Desirs and Kevin Wynn needed to play.
No,
that's at least a positive.
Man, and I do think they would if the criteria is getting the team to play hard for you, I'd be inclined to go with him over Gus I think but Gus has had more success this year.
Well, he has, The Gus's side is better.
Murray, I love that your name is Murray. Do you guys think they haven't fired Mike not only because of the contract but also the recruiting class? Looks like we're second in the ACC currently to Miami. No, I don't think it's that.
I don't think.
I hope it was not that. It can't be. Yeah, you're not keeping that.
In all likelihood.
They have not signed yet.
Norvell fired, writes Z. Norvell fired or Jimbo hired elsewhere? Which happens first?
Norvell fired.
I would assume so.
And they just maybe we have a post game press conference with Norvell saying goodbye, because that happens a lot, right? And Jimbo just walks in the door and takes over. They shake hands, and Jimbo takes over and says thanks.
What level job do you think Jimbo can get? Because Jimbo, and I think it was in that article that Ross Dellinger wrote the other day. By the way, Ross Dellinger doing some good PR work there for Jimbo.
Holy cow.
But
they all do, man.
I mean,
he didn't get his stuff he wanted quick enough. It's a public record.
But he couldn't get it. But I think it was in there, and I had heard this before, that he wanted West Virginia and couldn't get it. What level is he getting at this point?
Wouldn't Virginia Tech be a good idea?
I thought about it, but I just saw something on that job, and he wasn't even mentioned. But I thought the same thing. I thought that was a job that
Virginia Tech is out there hunting big game, buddy. They're going for Franklin. They're not going to get it, but they're going for him. And they just invested a bunch of money in their program. They're trying to get their house in order before the shakeup in 3 years. Everybody now is trying to position themselves to be sitting pretty. Hey, what about us? What about us? In 3 years, Florida State's got to start
Yeah. I mean, Sexton's going to try to do everything he can to help Jimbo because it's good for him too. But I think that article was an effort to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a Power 4 school is reaching out to Jimbo right now. I'd be curious to see.
Yeah, it would be interesting to be a part of the interview process. I want to hear what Jimbo's learned, where he's made mistakes, what he's willing to admit to, what he would change.
That would be informative.
Yeah. I think you would really need to know that. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Daytime highs approaching 70 this afternoon under overcast skies. Winds out of the north, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 53 tonight. Overcast skies. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times tomorrow. Chance of rain showers. High temperatures reach up to 74. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 61 degrees.
And here come the leaves. Thousands of them falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
Let me tell you, as a homeowner, I used to dread every rainstorm. Water would flow around the outside of my home, my yard, and the gutters would clog and overflow. I'd have to make sure I had buckets and duct tape ready every time. Then I called New Vision Gutters, and I can see the difference. Now I sleep through the storms. No puddles, no leaks, no clogs, no stress. If you've got water problems, trust me. Call the pros at New Vision Gutters, where they take pride and passion in protecting your most valuable possessions. It's the MVP treatment and the best call I ever made.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on Big River. Let's get to these real quick. Scott has an interesting question. Fellas, why do you think in the NFL broadcast, they'll show a disgusting injury from 15 different angles. But if a player gets hit in the balls, they'll meekly say absolutely nothing about it and suggest any other possible injury. Why are they so scared of the nut shot?
So, hey, it's a question we've been asking ourselves for years. It was bothering Scott.
Yeah. Scott was like, I got to come to the guys with this.
Yeah. Well, there's no real good answer for that.
Is it? I don't watch as much NFL as you guys do. It does seem like in college, as soon as there's an injury, man, we're going to a commercial.
Oh, yeah, we're gone. Right.
Like it is.
Well, you remember the devastating Lagway injury from last year when he had to be carted off the field and then played the next week.
Toenail.
Yeah, she could grief.
Jimmy Sexton represents pretty much all the coach candidates. Does this hurt the possibility of back channeling coach negotiations before Mike is actually fired? Seeing that the next Sexton represents him also, do you all think Alfred and company are already on the coach hunt?
Do you think like the Georgia DC is represented by Sexton's company too?
So
or do you wait? Does he wait until you've got the job to start representing? Like Mike Norvell was not represented by Jimmy Sexton when he was the Arizona State OC.
Yeah, he gets them pretty early sometimes.
Oh, he does? He gets them off the tree?
What I was told is that Lanning was not represented by him. And then as soon as he was represented by him, all of a sudden he became the top candidate for all these jobs. It is rocket fuel. Because he controls all these jobs. I mean, the whole thing with Alabama, and people can debate whether or not Mike Norvell was a serious candidate. Jimmy Sexton said he was a serious candidate. Jimmy Sexton's he's running Alabama's search. So he tells you, yeah, man, I'm about to put Mike Norvell at Alabama. You have to take him at his word. He has all the cards. So when you ask a question like that, I don't think it hurts Florida State. It's you have to decide whether or not you want to do that dance again.
That's the whole thing. Do you want to play the game?
Right. If you want,
have you learned enough to say I'm not doing this?
Jimmy has no problem negotiating with another coach for Mike Norvell's job, even though he represents Mike Norvell, because Mike Norvell's going to get paid either way.
Yeah.
So he has no problem doing that negotiation.
He's going to get fired either way.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't hurt you. It could help you. It greases some things because he represents these other coaches also, but he doesn't represent everybody. There is one of his guys left him, somebody left him a couple years ago and took a lot of clients. In fact, Norvell was probably going to go too.
Yes, he was.
Before the Alabama job happened.
Right.
But and then Trace Armstrong's got a lot of clients. I mean, there are other guys out there, but Sexton has such a pool of them that it's easy to work with him because he can make all the things happen.
Matthew's funny. He writes, gentlemen, if you made a Venn diagram consisting of the people who want Jimbo back and the people who think the government is altering the weather, would it just be a single circle?
It is sir. Like there's been obviously many posts on the message boards about Jimbo. And yes, I think by and large, most people come from where we come from, that we appreciate what Jimbo did, but you're misremembering how it ended. You're misremembering how he treated Florida State. You're also not caring that he was an abject failure at Texas A&M.
It's been 10 years since he was successful.
Yes. And if you take away the Jameis years, they were still good for a few years, but it's not incredible.
And
he brought Jameis, like his track record made him appealing to Jameis Winston, so that matters. But yeah,
right. That sounded really dismissive, and I'm trying to not be, because I understand why the emotions of it though.
Yeah, they're stuck
when you had a good, it's like when you think back to high school, when you think back to an old.
This is how Facebook leads to divorce.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you remember Becky when she was
I haven't seen Becky. Well, that was a good night.
Yeah, it was. Why did we ever break up?
You're in town, Becky.
Yeah.
Well, maybe lunch.
Yeah, you tend to remember the good times.
Philip writes, fellas, tell me I'm crazy. Would you fire Mike, make Tony head coach at $3 million per year, convince Sexton to convince Gus he has more? That's where you're crazy, Philip. We're done here. I'm not keeping Gus for anything.
All right. Well, but we get to answer the question.
I'm going to finish the question.
Okay.
I just wanted to interrupt.
All right.
Convince Gus he has one more run in him at Arkansas before retirement. Oh, negating his buyout. Oh, I'm sorry, Philip. I apologize.
You're with him now.
And in the craziest move yet, make Jimbo your GM, all in an effort to buy you time.
Yeah, Jimbo not being the coach is the issue there, because I feel like he doesn't want to be a GM. He wants to be a coach. No, I would not do that, but I would absolutely, if Wake Forest goes poorly on Saturday night, I would absolutely just rip the Band-Aid off, and I would make Tony White my interim head coach, and I'd see what it looked like for 4 weeks.
I will say this: if Tony White had been,
he could be George Seifert.
If the defense had been more buttoned up, guys lining up correctly, guys playing hard, not doing dumb things, I would be all on board. I would be all on board with let that guy be the interim coach and see what he's got, and maybe even give him a year or two. And see what he's got.
I'd give him 4 games and then see what you got.
I'm saying, but if it was good enough to make you go, give him another year, not just through this year. But yeah, based on what he's done, it's just hard to say that.
John writes, if Mike has his 30-0 moment Saturday and loses his 10th straight ACC game.
I mean, punt our lives into the sun. This is ridiculous we're dealing with this.
Which of you will present Mike with his Platinum Bohica? How are winning percentages in setting? Yeah, no, it would. I'd have to do it.
It's your thing.
Bohica. Yeah, I want to walk out there with that Bohica. It's an uncomfortable exchange.
This was supposed to go to Manny Diaz.
Yes,
this was supposed to.
This
was supposed to go to
whoever the coach was. It Manny back then, where they gave up the 17. Was it 2017 or 19? They lost that
17, I think.
Yeah. James Blackman, they scored the touchdown with like a minute left and then let him go right back down the field.
Yeah, because Derwin had to cover the tight end.
Yeah, that's right. That was the great Jimbo Fisher, by the way. His team lost to that horrible Miami quarterback, whoever. I can't remember his name. Don't want to remember his name.
Jay Noel wants to know whether or not this team will show any fight against Wake this week, and do we think that they will?
Great question. Great question.
I think they will. I think they're going to win.
I will say this. I think
they're going to win. I know y'all don't.
I don't think it matters.
Maybe, but I think they could win.
Yeah, they might win.
Then they might start something. Might start something.
Corey, you're creating the worst case scenario of starting something, so we have to pretend that it's okay to bring this guy back.
Just a spark.
Just a spark. That's all you need. These are all winnable. You go 8-4 after going 2-10. You go 8-4. Man, he might win the ACC Coach of the Year.
Let me ask you this: what if you make a coaching change?
Yeah, buddy.
What if you make a coaching change? Looking at that schedule next year.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're going to have to figure out a lot of things with this roster.
Yes, you buy out the Alabama game.
What does next year look like? Like, what's reasonable? I know you just said you think you can go 8-4, 9-3. Anybody could do that. What's reasonable with that schedule next year?
I don't know, man. Who's the coach? Tell me who the coach is.
Average coach, like
Nick Saban.
Like just an average, 60 on PFF.
So if you're good with 7-5 with a new coach, why aren't you good with 7-5 with this coach for $10 million?
Brand new climb, baby. Brand new climb.
That's right. We've already climbed this mountain.
What I'm throwing out there is, and again, I'm not pushing for this.
Do it in 2 seconds is what you're going to do.
If he.
Yeah.
I was trying to talk myself into it.
You can't.
Come on, man. Mike's got it wired.
Bonus hour forthcoming. Say goodbye, kids.
Peace out.
See you next time.
Peace out.
Thanks everybody for listening. Bonus hour next. Stay tuned.